Hello everyone, it's Ashwin Rao. And I have a new video for you on yet another pair of engineers as I continue my journey through the wide world of engineer boots. I've learned to look for specific characteristics. I've discovered that I have a medium to slightly high instep. In the case of engineers, I'm looking for boots that have a easier pass-through, meaning that when my foot descends, this angle right here, where the foot has to come down this way and then turn a corner, has to be amenable to somebody who has a larger volume, higher instep foot. And so this pair fits the bill. It's a very unique build, a very rare makeup from the Keystone Shoe Company. For those of you who know engineers, you're going to be familiar with Keystone, or at least you think you might have heard about them, or maybe you've caught wind of the brand. I learned about this brand from the Man Cave Club. Jimmy, Nerding with Boots, is somebody I've communicated with on and off. I wanted to present some of that knowledge about the Keystone Shoe Company because it is actually a fascinating story as to how this brand came to be. So the Keystone Shoe Company is actually an offshoot of the Fukurokuju shoe repair shop. Fukurokuju has been based out of Tokyo since 2002 and has been led by Takeshi Okuyama. Now, Takeshi Okuyama has built a reputation along with his small team of craftspeople in repairing largely American-made footwear in the heritage space. So, as you all know, the Japanese have really taken a strong affinity to makeups from American footwear manufacturers such as Knicks, Whites, and most notably Red Wing. And so Takeshi and his team have become known for the high quality work they've done in bottoming or resoling a number of those Red Wings and other American-based footwear, and have gained a very unique niche in the intersection between American-made footwear and motorcycle culture, of which engineers have become a staple. And so if you go to the Keystone Shoe Company website or the Fukurokuju website, you'll see many references to engineers and their place in motorcycle culture. The style of these shoes, the rugged nature, the aesthetic is something that really appeals to me. And Fukurokuju, led by Takeshi Okuyama, decided in the late 2010s and ultimately around 2020 to release their own line of engineer boots, taking what they had learned from the bottom work they've done with shoes and resoling and recrafting boots, and applying some of that knowledge to these very unique and very affordable engineer boots. So high quality, affordable, Japanese-made engineer, but you can get these boots for in the neighborhood of $550. So first of all, they are Goodyear welted, but they're not your typical Goodyear welt. This is a Goodyear welted shoe with 270 degrees of stitching. So nominally speaking, it is a Goodyear welted shoe. But these particular shoes are flexible Goodyear welted, meaning that they have a leather channeled insole. So instead of having a fabric gemming that's used to attach the insole to the remainder of the shoe, the entire insole is attached using a channeled insole to which the welt stitch is directly affixed. And that allows these shoes to be more flexible, more durable, and actually quite comfortable right out of the gate. And there's a few other features, but that is one of the notable features, is that this is a channeled insole, which is common in hand welted footwear, but not so common in Goodyear welted footwear. I believe Bridlin does it and a few others. I think Viber actually does it for their boots, but most other Goodyear welted footwear is not using channeled insoles, but rather a fabric gemming that is then affixed to the remainder of the insole. The other things that I've found to be very unique about this particular pair is that they have this really nice heel counter with a cupped heel, meaning that it really kind of secures your heel when you put your foot in here. There's a lot of shape to this heel. And then this really beautiful tapered back heel stay is a design element that I think elevates this shoe with this little trapezoidal stitch pattern going all the way up to the top here. I really think that that's a nice feature of this particular pair. Rough out leather. This is a rough out cowhide leather. Many of their makeups are made from Horween leather, and I believe this is a Horween leather. They also make makeups in black, natural, and other forms of Horween leathers, but this in particular model from 2024 is made out of a rough out leather. A nice nap. It's not too fine. It's not too hairy. It's kind of a nice midpoint, and it suits this style quite well. The other thing that is interesting is the shaft is ever so slightly facing forward compared to the rest of the foot and the angles here. So normally you would see a shaft kind of angling directly up as such, but this is tilted ever so slightly forward. So the tangent here to the plane of the footbed is leaning slightly forward. There's a shift in the balance of this shoe towards the front part of the shoe, and effectively what this does is allows your foot to get in a little bit easier, so it makes for an easier pass through. And actually what is interesting is it helps reduce heel slip. This is a leather heel stack, full grain, 3-layered leather heel stack. You can see the welt and then the midsole and then a full rubber outsole here. It's a very shapely and aggressive curved heel. It has this nice taper when you're looking at it inside, but then it has this more rounded profile when you're looking at it from the top. And the other thing that's really unique about this is how much toe spring this particular model has. So if I can demonstrate this for you, let's get a little brush here to demonstrate. Pretty flat brush. And you can see that if I were to just place this on the ground here and line it up here, there's quite a bit of toe spring here, which is unique when you're putting this boot on, is that the arch support built into this shoe, which is a combination of the support built into the footbed as well as this dramatic curve to the inside of this leather right here. There's actually quite a formed shape here. That plus the footbed almost lend this to the Pacific Northwest style of arch support, like the 55 last. So this is as close as I've seen to the 55 last, even when comparing it to the Pacific Northwest engineers from at least Wesco. I haven't tried the whites or the Nicks, but there's a lot of arch support in here. This is more arch support than my Zeros. This is definitely more arch support than almost all of the other engineers that I have. A Brannock 10 is my size here, and if you look right here, this is a size 10 in their particular sizing. Now, my understanding from reviewing some Reddit posts and a bunch of other sites is that they typically recommend either a half to a full size down. I went true to my Brannock size. Now I have a foot that's a 10D, but it can comfortably fit into a 10.5 without too much sloppiness. So maybe a 10D would also work, or a 9.5D would also work, but I happen to have this particular pair and it feels perfect. It doesn't feel crowded in the foot. There's plenty of space, but not too much space. The arch feels like it lays out in the right spot and there's no heel slip. So all in all, I'm very happy with how this all looks. This boot also has a very structured toe box. This almost feels like a, you know, it's probably Celastic, but I can't tell for sure, but it is a very rugged, structured toe. So nickel buckles here and here, each with 5 punch holes. You'll see this triangular stitch pattern with a contrast stitching on the upper and a double row of stitching along the top here of the vamp, as well as double row stitching along the back heel counter. Pretty much everywhere you look, there's double row stitching. Very shapely, rugged to dressy vibes here, but closer to rugged than dressy. And that front pitch, all of these lend themselves to this being a very unique and particular type of engineer boot. It's hard to see it there, but there's a little change in the shape of the edge here, right here, where there's a little shelf right there. And that's another detail that I think is nicely done. But a ton of details for essentially $500 new out the gate for this Keystone Engineer. How they afford to make something at that price using a Horween leather in Japan is pretty remarkable, but they're able to do it. And the way you order is by reaching out by email via the Keystone Shoe Company directly to Takeshi. He seems to be a tremendous guy and he's willing to give sizing advice. And it usually takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 12 months to get these delivered to you once you order them. Here, the fit will take some getting used to if you're used to a flatter arch on your Engineer, or if you're used to less toe spring or a dressier Engineer with a collapsing toe. This is not that, but this is going to give you a different vibe that will kick some serious tail. Keystone Shoe Company, you're going to be happy that I brought this brand to your attention if you're not aware of it. And if you haven't watched the video yet, head over to the Man Cave Club. They do a great video there. There's a few other videos out there, but not many. And so I wanted to give the brand a little bit more of a feature now that I have one in my collection. And I'm really looking forward to taking this bad boy on its journey. Hope you're all doing well. We'll catch you later, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye-bye.